Here we are, just with Truth Hurts 101 UK and Mitch Media here in Cornwall. Not even going to try and pronounce the name of the place. Tintagel? I do actually know. But yeah, we're going to go and have a little drink with John Mappin up at his lovely home, Camelot Castle, here in Cornwall. Well, I've got to say today, it's absolutely glorious. Not a line in the sky so far, but it is very, very windy. Hopefully the windshield's doing its job. And hopefully now we can have a little interaction with some locals here in the village, where of course they offered John at Camelot Castle a lot of money to house immigrants, migrants and refugees.
We are at Camelot Castle, and here is John Mappin.
Hello,
John.
Thomas, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Yeah, we're going to get a tour of the castle.
You are. Can I just say a very, very warm welcome to Camelot Castle.
Ah,
I am aware of your YouTube channel,
okay.
and I just want to say thank you on behalf of all the people out there who have not had the opportunity to say thank you for the incredible work that you've done in service to this country, and it's an amazing job you're doing. So a great pleasure to
Really do appreciate that, John. Thank you.
Well, it takes some courage, and I think you've done a great job. And anyway, welcome to Camelot. What can I show you?
Warm welcome. I'll let you freestyle show us around.
Okay, good. Well, this is the entrance hall here.
Yep.
And as you can see, these are some of the guests that have been here.
Yep. I'll get the trump.
Oh, there we go. Well, of course, President Trump has yet to come to Camelot Castle, but of course he's a knight of Camelot Castle.
As united him.
We did give President Trump a hereditary knighthood.
Yeah.
Of course, the Camelot Castle knighthoods are superior in every way to the traditional English knighthood that they hand out today from various different areas. So this is, of course, this is a rather interesting piece here. This is a painting by Ted Stourton. Ted is my great friend and business partner. We acquired Camelot together in 1999. And this particular painting sums up everything that Camelot is about. And we call it Friendship into Eternity. And the whole idea is that you can have all sorts of knickknacks in life. You can buy this, you can buy that. But actually, if you can count 5 friends on your one hand, you're a very, very wealthy
lucky man.
And I think friendship is something that sits at the fundamental of why we're restoring Camelot, why we have taken the position that we're taking. If we were all just a little bit friendlier to each other, then I think life would just run a little bit smoother.
Totally agree, John.
But anyway, these are. This is an old advert from our family company, Mappin & Webb, which obviously our family started Mappin & Webb in 1775. 1775, and you can see here that we've sort of made sort of old bits of silver, and David and Victoria are very much like that. I think they're actually friends of Ted's.
Have you got family crest yourselves? You know, like
yeah, funnily enough, we do, and the emblem is the boar.
Wow.
Ah.
And that's Boris up there. We call that Boris.
Boris the Boar.
Boris the Boar.
Fitting name.
Yeah. So there we go. This is the Great Hall. And as you can see, this is the round table.
The round table with the names on.
Round table. And yeah, this is actually describes this is what we call the circle of friendship. It's a sculpture by Ted Stourton, and this really delivers the concept. It says there are very few gifts that are as valuable as the gift of friendship. Some people are just beginning to realize what it means to be a friend to oneself, and that they are their only true friend. Some people are blessed with many friends. So basically the whole idea is of creating this project is to strengthen the friendship. And so people come here, and all we really hope is that when somebody comes to stay, they feel that their friendship is strengthened. This is the dining room here.
This is Ted's piece as well?
Yeah. This is
wow.
It's part of the friendship series. I forget the name of this piece.
How long would this take?
Well, this is a remarkable piece. I mean, that would probably take a considerable period of time. And Ted confided something in me as an artist. He told me one day that every brushstroke that he makes on one of his pieces, he makes a wish for somebody.
Oh, it's lovely.
So that if you imagine how many brushstrokes there are,
yeah.
And the whole idea is that we say that wishes made at Camelot Castle have a very good chance of coming true. We don't guarantee that they do come true, but we say that they have a good chance of coming true.
And you're doing something very important with selling these paintings and
well, we are. What we're doing is we are restoring the building. So we sell this art, and then the money that we make from the art is used to restore the rooms here. And I'm going to show you some of the rooms that we have restored. This is the dining room. This is not fully restored yet. And we've done a little bit in here. These are some more of Ted's paintings here. This table's quite fun. You can see there's a little plaque here. And it says this was the favourite table of Noel Coward, who was an English playwright, composer, director, actor, and a singer. And when he stayed at Camelot Castle, he would always sit at this table. Wow. So we put a little plaque there for him. You've got a lovely view here. For your breakfast.
The views really do speak for themselves.
Absolutely fantastic.
Wow.
And you can probably just about see King Arthur's face in the rock there. He's like sleeping. And I always say we better wake him up. He's got a bit of work to do. But it's, Ted. Can I introduce you to Thomas? Who,
hello, Ted.
Of YouTube fame.
Thomas, nice to see you.
Love your artwork.
Right.
Beautiful.
Thank you so
Very good.
Yeah.
Are you all having a nice day? Nice to see you again too. How's it going? All right.
Good.
My dear, so very well. Welcome to Camelot.
Thank you. Very warm welcome so far.
Well, that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, lovely.
That's good. Well, I'll take you through and show you a little bit through the bar, and then maybe Ted, in a second, you can give a little tour of the studios. So this gives you an idea of how the rooms were when we first came here, and the sort of level of work that we've had to do. So that's an example. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera. Well, actually, this is an example of how the bar was there. That's the bar before restoration, and that's after restoration.
Wow.
So if you think about it, all of that restoration has been paid for by the art sales.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. And this is a great little picture here. This is Bonnie Chartwood, who was the receptionist here in 1939.
Oh, wow. Photo's still on the wall.
There we go. So this is now the bar. We call this the Golden Age bar.
That's lovely.
And of course now we're entering the Golden Age.
We are entering the Golden Age.
We're entering the Golden Age.
We're going to make Camelot great again.
We're going to make Camelot great again. And these are all various different rooms that we have here. We call this the Explorer's Tea Room. And one of the things that we like to encourage at Camelot Castle is the spirit of exploration. You know, I think one of the problems is people can get into their fixed ideas. And unless you're willing to explore new ideas, then you just stay still, don't you? So we say, come to the Explorer's Tea Room and consider new ideas, as this family are doing right now, you see.
We're live, John.
Good.
Yes.
So this is the blue room, and this is like a family room. And we've got all sorts of things in here. It's mainly, well, I showed you the Trump vodka before, and various different things here. This is another great piece of Ted's art. And I think you had a question, didn't you?
Yeah, I just noticed that symbol there, or that sign. I was wondering what it was.
Yeah, that is that's the symbol of the subject of Scientology.
Okay.
And my, if you like, ace card in life, I was one of the first people in this country to be thoroughly educated in the subject of Scientology. And it's been a very, very useful thing to me. It's something that is not very well understood in this country, actually. Although these days there is a television channel, Scientology.tv. You can go on there, you can learn about it. It's a wonderful thing.
And you yourself, do you have any channels or any output yourself for people that are new to that sort of?
Well, no, I don't particularly get into explaining Scientology myself, because I think the church itself does a good job of it. But that's what that is. That's actually a Christmas card that they sent out, but I rather like it.
This is the Christmas card they sent.
Yeah, that's the Christmas card they sent me. Yeah.
Nice.
The colours match against that lovely photo or picture.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Superb. Yeah,
So you celebrate Christmas still?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, absolutely. No, you see, I am a Christian Scientologist.
Okay.
And actually, Scientology would, I always say, you're a better Scientologist if you're a Christian, and you're a better Christian if you're a Scientologist, because the two things actually don't conflict in any way. And it's a very interesting subject. And what I have found is it helps you get to the truth.
Yeah.
It helps you find the truth. And ultimately, any spiritual study, any religious study, I think if it helps you get closer to the truth, that's a good thing. So I think Christianity does that. What are your religions? Are you religious?
I'm not religious, no.
You're not religious?
Not
Are
religious.
you religious too?
Catholic.
You're a Catholic, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I went to a Steiner school, so I'm like very spiritual, kind of probably more along those lines, although I don't know that much about it.
No.
I don't follow bondage or religion as such. I don't like the idea of control.
No.
But I do like the idea of spiritual pursuit and conquer and stuff, and knowledge. Yeah.
Well, I think the more you know about life, the less you can be controlled. So I think the people that get controlled by religion, in my experience, are people that don't really understand the religion that they're being controlled by, if you like.
Sure.
Once you fully understand something, you're less likely to be controlled about it. And one of the things that I really appreciated about Scientology is the founder of Scientology discovered how it was that human beings were being brainwashed by the media. And when a lot of the recent events happened in this country, and the media went into overdrive by being able to sort of spread different narratives and tell us all what we should believe. And
propaganda.
There was a lot of propaganda. The founder of Scientology actually wrote a very interesting policy, which you can find in any church of Scientology. It's not a secret. It's a policy, it's called How to Handle Black Propaganda. And when you read this policy, and then you look at the news, the propaganda would completely lose its effect with you, because you'd be able to spot, well, I can see that that is a fact, but that is a twisting of the fact. That is propaganda. And so one of the reasons I was able to see through a lot of the propaganda narratives that people have spun in on the society recently is because I studied Scientology. It's a very, very useful tool. And
is that something, if people were to come here and stay for extended periods of time, they could learn about or discover?
No, we don't. You won't find, this is a private area that the family uses.
Sure.
But you won't find anything in this hotel that relates to Scientology, because I think that if somebody comes to stay in a hotel, what my religious views may or may not be, that's my business. It's not really. Now, if somebody politely says to me, John, I've read about the fact that you're a Scientologist, could you explain it to me? Well, then what I would probably do at that point, I'd say, well, just read this book on it. And I'd suggest they read Dianetics, or I'd suggest they go to the Scientology website, because frankly, the website does a much better job of explaining it than I could. If they're really persistent and they are really genuinely interested, then I might be lured into a discussion. But actually, 9 times out of 10, if I do that, I find myself a few minutes later going, I wish I'd just referred them to the actual source, because I think that so many people have so many different ideas about religion, and I certainly wouldn't want anybody to, I welcome all religions here, and actually we have all sorts of different religions.
And you were just saying, when the Home Office or the government offered you quite a substantial amount of money, they were wanting to turn one of your lovely halls into a prayer room.
Well, that was something that was discussed. It wasn't discussed with the government, but they have subsidiary companies, and if you decide that you're going to go down a certain line, and that's what is wanted. I mean, they have prayer rooms in airports, don't they?
Of course, yeah.
I'm not opposed to that. If that's what people, no, I'm not opposed to it. And I think that
kind of like a smoking room these days in some hotels, isn't it? A prayer room, I guess, to comply with legislation.
Well, I think if people want to pray, they should be have a space to pray. I have nothing wrong with that. And actually, I respect the fact that some businessmen, some people that own hotels, did decide to take the government's, I don't know how we describe it, the money. For that. I could see that it's to their commercial advantage. My view is that in the long run, the way I analysed it was that in the long run, it's not to the country's advantage. And all of life is a symbiosis. We are all connected. And so if I was to have, let's say, welcomed, they'd probably put 200 to 300 visitors in this hotel. What happens is I believe they have, well, you've seen, they have security at some of these hotels to keep out the general public. Yeah. But the security is not actually designed to keep the people staying there in the hotel.
No,
rooms.
they're still wandering around.
They tend to mill around the local community and so on and so forth. And so what I always felt was that you have the potential of a cultural degradation. And what I mean by that, it's not to say that other cultures are degraded, but we have our own culture in Britain, which I value. I think that our culture is a beautiful thing. I'm very proud to be British. I think that Britain has achieved great things historically.
John, can I ask you what you thought when you was offered the contract? What went through your head?
Honestly, I've said this before, but I genuinely thought it was a joke. I genuinely thought, we had an email through. I said, my manager came to me and said, well, we've been offered full occupancy for a year on a rolling contract. And I said, you've got to be a full price. And I said, you've got to be kidding. And I say, it's got to be a joke. So I called up the company, and initially I just thought I was probably going to call. I thought genuinely it was a spoof call.
Yeah.
But when I called, it was quite genuine, and I just couldn't believe it. And I just sort of saw the future. You know, you have those moments, and you sort of see, well, you go left, and one thing's going to happen. I mean, it would have been massively to our family's commercial advantage in the short term. Whether it would have been in the long run, because, in the long run, what would it have done to the local environment? What would it have done? How would you have felt in your conscience?
Mm. If a man was to go out and commit a crime and he was staying here, you'd ultimately feel.
Yes, you might have that thought.
And also, John, how long was it until they offered you it again? What was it?
I think it's 3 or 4 months.
Apart?
Yeah, roughly, as I recall. I'm not, but they came. I turned it down, and then I had another offer, and they were a bit keener the second time. I think they were really under pressure.
Yeah, to find places.
To find hotels.
Yeah.
I think they really were, and it's something that is. What can one say?
I think you made the right decision, John, anyway. And,
well, I think so. And I think what's amazing to me, I'm quite humbled, actually, by the response. I'm quite humbled by the response.
Lots of support.
It's been overwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean, I went on to GB News the other day, and I did a little clip on GB News, which I think is how you heard about us.
Yes.
And I think it's something like 40 million people have seen that clip. And I've had people coming up here, and they'll come up and say, John, thank you for what you've done. I said, well, really, I've only done what I think was the right thing to do for the community. But the more I think about it, and the more I see, I mean, I've watched some of your videos online, and anybody who wants to see what happens if a hotel does take. What's your channel called again?
Truth Hurts 101 UK.
Truth Hurts 101. I mean, go and watch Truth Hurts 101 UK. Because this channel, I watched it last night, and I mean, there was one hotel there. I know it quite well, the Copthorne.
Copthorne, yeah.
Which is a historic hotel in Sussex. They're in Sussex, aren't they, near Gatwick. And I know that hotel. I've had friends who've stayed at that hotel. And it's just such a shame to see this occurring in our local community.
And our heritage sites as well.
Well, heritage sites. I mean, as you see, did we go outside? Did I show you outside?
Yep.
I mean, we can go out the front, and I'll show you the where. Yes. I'm sorry, they're here. We're
No, but where are you going?
we're just going. I'm going to go and show them King Arthur.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Oh, Ted Cigars there, is it? Oh, lovely.
Absolutely stunning views, though, John.
Well, I mean, perhaps that's what the government wanted for us, our guests.
They wanted a room with a view, didn't they?
They wanted a room with a view. Of course, this is the historic birthplace of King Arthur.
Yeah.
And the story goes that Merlin created a mist that went across there, and Arthur's father, who was Uther Pendragon, was salted over there, and he had his way with Igraine. And of course, Arthur was conceived that night on the island of Tintagel, which was the home of the Duke of Cornwall. And it's been a fortification, and in fact, I don't know if you can see there. You can see it better down here. You can see King Arthur's face lying in the rock. It's slightly obscured by our new bridge, which is being refurbished at the moment.
What a view.
So that is
Must make you proud standing out looking over this.
well, I think what it does every morning when you get up here at Camelot Castle
Yeah.
is you are reminded of the majesty of this country and how basic decency and basic goodness is part of the very fabric. You know, I don't think that the British people don't want to welcome genuine refugees. I think they do. I think we care about other people. I think we've done extraordinary things. I mean, my grandfather signed up at the age of 14 to fight for this country and was wounded in the trenches and died an early painful death because he got shrapnel in the lung. Okay, and he never regretted, you know, signing up to go into the trenches to fight what at that time he had been told was an existential threat to this country. So I think that the British people are very fair-minded, very generous, actually, very, very generous, very fair-minded. And so when you wake up here at Camelot Castle, and people tell me this, is when they come to Camelot, they connect to the very soul of this country. And of course, King Arthur has been an archetype. So what we're going to do is, I don't know if you noticed, but some of the high streets of some of the villages and some of the towns in this country are being absolutely decimated. And so we are launching a fund and a way of revitalizing the high streets of this country, starting actually with this village. And a number of friends of mine have expressed a wish to invest in the local village here to really make Tintagel as great as it can be. Tintagel is already great. Tintagel is already great, but we can make it greater.
Yeah.
And that's the whole idea.
Lovely.
They love the idea of these as potential migrant accommodation.
Do you imagine breaking into a country illegally and getting placed in a castle with views like this?
Well, I think that's what has tickled the sort of national funny bone in relation to this story.
Yeah.
Is that, you know, we kept reading about these hotels, but I think once people saw that actually the plan was to put them up in historic hotels, I think that was a bridge too far for most people. I think that crossed the line of fairness. Even putting them into a military
camps,
facility, that sort of makes sense in a way. You know, people could sort of...
Barbed wire fences make sense.
Well, I'm not sure they need barbed wire, but certainly it didn't offend people's sense of logic in a way.
So how many rooms do we have on this outbuilding then, John?
Well, there's a little bit more here. It's essentially six holiday apartments.
Oh, okay. Did they tell you they wanted to put 2 per room, or?
Well, I don't know. I think they stacked them in, to be honest.
Oh,
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
lovely.
There we go.
Wow, look at the views.
I mean,
This is really nice in here.
I think
really
it's a lovely spot, and of course they'd have had a nice widescreen TV, which I think is essential for your high-end accommodation.
Wow, yeah, really nice interiors here.
Is that all right?
Yeah. Smells really, really clean as well. You can smell it.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I think that's one of the things they appreciated.
And they wanted to put illegal immigrants in here. It doesn't even make sense, does it?
Well, It wouldn't be my initial choice.
Wow. How much do these...
So here we are at the side of the Camelot Castle. Look at that. So we're lucky to have uncensored, unfiltered access to Camelot Castle today. And what a place it is.
Look at this castle, look. Absolutely stunning. The Home Office attempted to put illegal immigrants in here, not once, but twice. And the owner, John Mappin, who we've just been speaking to around the table, having a brew with, he refused a contract. So if you're looking for somewhere to stay in Cornwall, this is the hotel you want to be looking at. Somewhere with pride. A little look around the other side, get the helipad in. Helipad's cool.
Yeah, if I were you, I'd just stand in the tall grass.
Whoa! Very windy. Walk around, look. We're going to get a scan of the surroundings. Look at the views here. Beautiful blue sea. Here we are. Oh. Just getting the surrounding views, mate. Then I'm going to get the helipad and then I'll pack it up.
Are you flying it in sport mode?
Yeah. Oh no, it's not. It's not in sport mode.
What is it?
It's in
Normal.
yeah, normal.
Oh, you had in city.
In what?
In cine.
Cinematic. Yeah. This guy knows what he's talking about, doesn't he? Put it in cinematic for.
I think you should just land it on grass. I can land it for you if you want.
That'd be a good idea.
Do you want to land it?
Yeah.
Go on, lad.
Okay, so, right.
Oh.
Okay. Right. Firstly, I'm going to my right, so we're in stick mode 1. Yeah, so we're going to have to perform an emergency.
Fighting the wind there.
Yeah, that is not the best idea.
That's a good landing, that.
I didn't want to land it on tarmac.
That's all right, mate.
I think it's just best to play safe on grass.
Yeah, good job.
If I ever need to do an emergency landing, I always just sort of like zoom down.
Look at that, look.
Yeah.
Windy.
You see how those are glowing on their own now?
Yeah.
Maybe you can go on.
Rudolf Steiner came here. And we get a lot of what do you call anthroposophists?
Yes, anthropology,
come here as a thing. He actually had tea at the round table, and he brought a group of people here. I forget the exact date, but it was around the turn of the century, I think. And it's written up in one of his journals.
We'll look into that.
Just come through and then I'll just get it all set up for you. That might be a nice for you. First of all, John turned my life around about 30 years ago. I sort of had an itch I couldn't quite scratch, you know, and I've become an artist because of him. And his lovely wife, Irina. They're very, very good with people, you know. So that's that there. And then here is arts for everybody. And then here I've done You're Unique and Special, There's No One in the World Like You, Don't Give Up. Not just in art, but just in anything you're doing. You know,
In life.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
life. You get all that going on. And then we have little libraries through here. And that's Atlantis Hotel in Dubai. One of our friends helped build that, so that's quite interesting. And that's the fish tank opposite the breakfast room in the morning. Can you imagine? Yeah.
Wow.
And then we've had lots of guests over the years. Sir Simon Williams. Upstairs, downstairs, Timmy Mallet, Doc Martin. So we let Doc Martin film here around about 7 times. And also Peter Davidson.
Yeah. Is that Martin Clunes in the middle as well?
Yeah, Martin Clunes, yeah. And
That's
then,
the old
that's Ringo.
Beagle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ringo.
And then Sir Lawrence Olivier, Jan Francis and Donald Pleasance. Shall I let
Sorry,
you come
yeah,
in?
that's
All right. They come here, they made Knights of the Round Table, they made Dracula here, I beg your pardon, 1979. She was a very good actress, Jan Francis, Donald Pleasance. There's Nick Cage, Julie Walters. And then through here is lovely Ava Gardner. She made Knights of the Round Table here in 1953.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
That is pretty special, that one,
yeah. And then here is A.A. Milne. Now, A.A. Milne come and stay here in the 1920s when he was writing, you know. Well, when you go through the books, you never really see a photograph of him, but that's what he looks like there.
That's incredible.
That's the original bear. These girls here look 101-year-old twins. How about that?
That's the original Winnie the Pooh there.
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it?
These girls here, 101-year-old twins. Yeah. And then through here, then we have the photography rooms through here. That painting there's.
Is that one of yours, Ted?
Yeah, they're all my works. Yeah.
Wow.
And then this is called the Pilgrim's Way. So I like to think that people are pilgrims as they go through life, and if they can learn and treat other people like they like to be treated themselves, I think that's maybe quite a nice thing, you know.
Is this like a recent one? It was just.
Oh, yeah,
That's right, that's right, isn't it? Oh, look at how big.
Big boot.
This shoe was made in 1912, the year the Titanic sank. And it was made by a cobbler in Chicago, so he could put that in his shop window, you know, to advertise his wares. And so that was the working man's boot of the day, where they used to wear them. So that was the big model that was put in the front of the window. Quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then here is the big ones. I make them on the walls here. So you can put your hands here. You can feel the thickness of the canvas if you like.
Like a poppy field.
Yeah. But since we started, you know, around about 26 years ago, we've always had artists come and stay here and sort of get inspired, if you see what I mean.
So is that your autograph there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
All over the hotel.
Yeah.
Love it. Whoa, this one. This is another friendship.
There you go. Now, one of the best friends you might have in the world might be yourself. So if you practice in a light, fun way without looking backwards and without making yourself wrong, then you practice being a good friend to yourself, and what goes around comes around, see? But this also can be husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, you know, brother, sister, you know, 2 friends. It doesn't really matter what it is. But if we had more friendship in the world, we'd have less hassle and, you know, upset. That's the idea there. And then I'm just going to open the back door for you here so you can see the garden. Just a second. Here you go. There you go.
Oh,
How about that?
look at this.
Oh, well, I wasn't expecting that.
Wow. Beautiful out there. Do you do much out here?
Bit.
Yeah.
Come on through, my friends, so you can see this bit too. So that's that there. I'll let you go first. Yo, you guys must be getting some lovely footage today, aren't you?
Are you a friend of... Wow, look at this. Is this recent then?
Yeah.
12 string Adam black. That's tempting.
I'll show you the other one.
Oh, look at that. Where do you get your inspiration from then?
Well, you know when you have a thought, sometimes you say it, don't you? But sometimes you have a thought and then you make it, in the case of film.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have a thought, I paint it, sometimes I don't, you know?
Lovely colours in that.
And then if you want to have a seat here, look, I'll strum a little chord for you so you can hear the note go around the room.
So have you got really good reverberation?
Well, okay, you can just hear it here. I'll just give you a little chord so you can just hear the note. It's quite nice actually with all the sun coming through today. But as I say, it's a flipping terrible shame with everything, all the upset that's going on, you know, with all the hotels and things which are being taken over. It's not good. Not good. I just check the tuning, make sure it's okay for you. You don't allow what's it like in New York City? I'm 1,000 miles away. But girl, you look so pretty. Yes, you do. Times Square, it can shine as bright as you. I swear it's true.